So in this video I'll be explaining the basics of 8051 timers and how to use these timers to generate a delay using different modes of the programming. So timers are counters. So these can be used as a timers to generate a delay or can be used as a counters to count the events happening outside the microcontroller. So here I'll be explaining how to use the timers to create the delay or to generate the waveform of different clock frequency. So 8051 has got two 16-bit timers called timer 0 and timer 1, and both are 16-bit wide, and these can be accessed as low byte and the high byte. So low byte is referred as TL0 and the high byte is referred as TH0. If it is a timer 1, then the lower byte is called as TL1 and the higher byte is called as a TH1. These two timers in 8051 share two special function register called tmod and tcon. Tmod is called as timer mode and tcon is called as timer control. So these two are used to control the timers, and these timers as two special function registers dedicated to itself are called TH0 or TL0. These are reserved for timer 0 and TH1 and TL1 reserved for timer 1. So these are the special function register address for the various special function registers which are reserved for timers. So for example, the SF for the special function register name is TH0, that is timer 0 high byte, and the address reserved for TH0 in 8051 microcontroller is 8C8. So similarly, we have all the addresses for all the special function registers. So these TH0, TL0 or TH1 and TL1 can be accessed or can be used like how we use the other registers of 8051. For example, if you want to move contents of, or if you want to move any immediate value to TL0, then we can use the instruction move TL0 comma #4fh, means after the execution TL0 will be initializing with 4fh. So and similarly, if you want to move the contents of this special function register to any other register, then we can use the instruction move R5 comma TH0. So now we'll be seeing what is the function of tmod and tcon. So as I said earlier, tmod is nothing but the timer or control mode register. Means this register is used to select the mode of operation of the particular timer, and note that this is not bit addressable. So T mode is a 8-bit register, and lower 4 bits are reserved for timer 0 and the higher 4 bits are reserved for timer 1. And here, for example, if we take timer 0, we have first 2 bits are M0 and M1. So these M0 and M1 bits are used to select the mode of timer. So here we have 2 bits, so the maximum modes we can select is 4, called mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. So mode 0 means if both the bits are 0, 0, then the timer is selected in mode 1. Mode 1, the timer actually it is a 13-bit timer. So mode 0 is a 13-bit timer. In mode 1, it provides 16-bit timer or counter, and in mode 2 it gives 8-bit auto reload timer or counter, and in mode 3 it is an 8-bit timer or counter controlled by the standard timer 0 control bits. So here mainly we'll be discussing mode 1 and mode 2 programming, where mode 1 is a 16-bit timer and mode 2 is a 8-bit auto reload timer. And next bit we have C bar T. So here this bit tells whether we are using this one as a timer or the counter. If we are using this one as a timer, and that time this bit should be 0. If we are using this as a counter, then this should be 1. And next we have a gate bit. So this gate bit tells whether we are whether the 8051 is using hardware or software to turn on the timer and to turn off the timer. So if gate is 0, is nothing but the 8051 is using software to turn on and to turn off. So that time we need to use TCON. If the gate bit is 1, then it's nothing. It indicates that 8051 is using hardware, and that is interrupt pin. So but now we'll be assuming that we are using software to turn on and to turn off the timer. So we'll consider gate bit is 0. Next is, if the gate bit is 0, then it indicates that the 8051 is using software to turn on and turn off the timer. So that time this one we need to make use of TCON, that is timer control register, and please note that this one is bit addressable. So and again this TCON is also 8 bit, similar to T mode. Lower 4 bits are reserved for the interrupt, and the higher 4 bits are reserved for to turn on and to turn off the timer. So here TR0 and TF0 is reserved for timer 0, and TR1 and TF1 is reserved for TR0 and TF0 is reserved for timer 0. TR1 and TF1 is reserved for timer 1. So TR0 is nothing but timer 0 run control bit. Means if we want to turn on the timer 0, then we need to make this bit as 1. And next this TF0 is called as timer flag. So this flag will be set whenever the timer reaches to its maximum value. So similarly TR1 and TF1, but these two are used for timer 1. Yes, now we'll be seeing that what are the differences between different modes of the timer. So first we'll take timer, and it is in mode 0. So as we saw earlier, if we selected timer under mode 0, and that timer acts as a 13-bit timer. So in that, among 13-bit, the lower 5 bits of TLX. So TLX referred as lower byte of the timer. So TLX and 8 bits of THX are used for the 13-bit count. So the timer flag is set whenever THX goes from FFH to 00H, and this diagram tells the programming of this timer under mode 0. So here first the TLX is loaded with 5 bits value, and the THX loaded with 8 bits value, and this timer will stop when this flag sets. Next is a timer under mode 1. So this mode is similar to the mode 0 except for the fact that this timer operates in 16 bit. So here the lower register is loaded with 8 bits and also the higher register is also loaded with 8 bits, and the timer flag will set whenever the timer rolls over from FF to 0. Next is the timer mode 2, and this is the easiest one and the most useful one among all the modes. And this is an 8-bit counter, 8-bit timer. Counting is performed in TLX while THX stores a constant value. In this mode, whenever the timer overflows, that is TLX becomes FFH, it is fed with a value stored in THX. Okay, for example, if we load THX with 50H, then the timer in mode 2 will count from 50H to FFH. After this, the TLX will be loaded again with the 50H. For that, again, no need of any instruction, so this will be takes place automatically. And this is the block diagram for the timer under mode 2. So we can see here the TLX is of 8 bits and here we have a timer flag. So whenever timer flag is set, this TLX will be loaded with the THX. So now we'll see how to generate a delay or to generate a pulse of any frequency using 8051 timers in assembly level language. In order to program 8051 timers, it is important to know that calculation of initial count value to be stored in the timer register. So as in the first slide we have seen that the special function registers reserved for timers are THX and TLX. So the first thing is we need to load values to this register depends upon the what delay we require. So for that we have few steps. So before everything, first we need to find out the timer's clock frequency, because the delay generated by the timer depends upon the clock frequency of the 8051, that is the which oscillator or what frequency of oscillator is connected to 8051. So for that we have a formula. In any mode the calculation of timer clock period will be same. So timer's clock period is equal to 1 over timer clock frequency. So here timer clock frequency is master clock frequency divided by 12, and this thing we have already discussed in the IO port programming. Means for any like master clock frequency we need to divide by 12 oscillator period. So this master clock frequency is different for different 8051. It depends upon what is it, like which crystal oscillator is connected to particular microcontroller. So we'll see this a few example in that how to calculate a timer's clock period for the different oscillator frequency. So for example, now if assume that if 12 megahertz oscillator is connected to 8051, then first thing is we need to do that 1 divided by 12 into 12 megahertz, that is master clock frequency divided by 12 into this. So we get here 1 megahertz, and that is if you want to find out the time period we need to take the 1 over or reciprocal of this frequency. So if we take t is equal to 1 over 1 megahertz, we'll get 1 microsecond. And next, if we consider 16 megahertz, so first we need to divide master clock frequency divided by 12. So here in this case, the master clock frequency is 16 megahertz. So 16 megahertz divided by 12, if we do, we get 1.33 megahertz. And if we take the reciprocal of this frequency, we get 0.75 microsecond. So this the meaning is that if the 8051 uses the 16 megahertz crystal oscillator and the timer will count each step, like the timer will take 0.75 microsecond to count each, or each pulse will take 0.75 microsecond. So, and similarly the other example, if the crystal oscillator is connected to 8051 is 11.0592 megahertz, then we get timer clock period as 1.085 microsecond. So please note that if we are programming, like if you are generating any delay or generating a waveform, the first thing we need to do is we need to find out the timer's clock period, because the timer's clock period is varies the timer's clock period depends upon the crystal oscillator connected to particular microcontroller. So now, as I said earlier, we'll be discussing timer under two modes. Those are mode 1 programming and mode 2 programming. So mode 1, as we seen earlier, it is a 16-bit timer. So 16-bit timer means the total hexadecimal digits of 4. So in decimal it is 65,536. And so about this calculation we'll see later when we start the programming, right? So if it is a mode 2, then here we need to take, instead of 65,536, here we need to take 256, because 2 power 8 is 256. So if you want to find out the what value to be loaded in decimal, then we need to subtract delay required by timer clock period, and that should be subtracted from 256. 256. Then this decimal value should be converted into hexadecimal, and that should be loaded into THX register, because in mode 2 we will be loading the value into THX register, and that value will be automatically loaded into TLX register. But in case of the mode 1 programming, the converted hexadecimal value should be loaded onto THX and TLX register separately. So first we'll see mode 1 programming. Means what are the steps we follow whenever we use mode 1 to generate a delay or to generate any pulse. So these steps are very, very important. So first step is, first we need to load the T mode register. That is, we need to select the mode of timer, means whether we are using the timer under mode 1 programming or mode 2 programming. So is to be used, and which as next step we need to load TL and TH with the initial count value. So here it is very, very important to calculate the what value should be loaded into TL and TH. So for this we have the following steps. The first step is we need to divide the desired time delay, means whatever the delay is asked in the program or what delay we need to generate. So that delay should be divided by 1.085 microsecond, and this is the timer's clock period if the crystal oscillator frequency is 11.0592 megahertz, and this value will be varied if the crystal oscillator frequency is varied. So next, after this step, we need to perform, means whatever the value we got here, that should be subtracted from 65,536. In the next step, we need to convert. See, in the step B, we have calculated in decimal. So we need to convert that decimal value into hexadecimal value as YYXX. In that, XX is the value which is to be loaded into lower byte of the timer register and YY to the higher byte of the timer register. So after loading the values to TL and TH, and next thing we need to do is we need to start the timer. And we have seen this, how to start the timer using software or hardware. And if we are using the software, then we need to make use of TCON, that is timer control register, and in that we need to set the TR0 bit for timer 0 and set bit for TR1 for timer 1. So after turning on the timer, next we need to monitor the timer flag, that is TF. So we know that this timer flag will set whenever this TH and TL registers will roll out from FF to 0. And when this timer flag is raised, the timer will stop, and for that we need to use the instruction clear TR0 or clear TR1. Means whenever this timer flag becomes 1, we need to clear the timer to stop the timer. So to stop, the instruction which are used to stop the timer are clear TR0 if it is a timer 0 and clear TR1 if it is a timer 1. Next we need to, for example, if you want to repeat the loop, then we need to clear the TF flag using the instructions clear TF0 for timer 0 or clear TF1 for timer 1. Then we need to go back to step 2 to load TL values and TL and the TH register. So please remember that in mode 1 programming, we need each time we need to load the values into TL and TH register whenever the timer flag sets. Okay, so in the next video we will see few examples on timer mode 1 programming, that is to generate a pulse and to generate a